We're here with Paul Adid again from EPSON, and a couple of weeks ago we brought you the EPSON's product range from the home theatre side, and Paul walked us through, showed us all the different models, wireless streaming and HDR for the consumer space. That's only one side of EPSON's business, and EPSON is quite prevalent in the business and consumer point of view. At your work or your school, you'll probably have an EPSON projector. So we're here at the CEDIA Expo, and Paul's going to show us the rest of the product range and how EPSON is pushing forward projectors in all their product spaces, not just the home theatre stuff we saw earlier.
So at the core of all EPSON projectors is the 3LCD technology. So what we have here on display is a shootout between a one-chip DLP product on the left-hand side and on the right-hand side a 3LCD product. So with 3LCD you get 3 times brighter colours as well as 3 times wider colour gamuts. It's all inherent to the technology. DLP does sequential colour, but we are able to produce full-time colour. So both the white brightness and the colour brightness always match.
So Paul, can you tell us, from a technical point of view, why is your 3LCD solution able to give better whites?
So it's the ability to always push colour through the projector itself. So when colour is engaged in a one-chip DLP product, the colour wheel starts to spin and colour is filtered out. So on white brightness, they'll meet the 3000 lumen spec, but as soon as you introduce colour, their brightness will drop.
So on the 3LCD, is there a white pixel?
A white pixel? No, so it's always colour. Light will always pass through it, so you don't actually lose any of the colour brightness.
Okay, so you have the RGB that will open up,
yeah,
just like as a normal technology.
Yeah, that's right. When we talk about 3 times wider colour gamuts, you have a physical representation of colour gamuts here. So on the left-hand side is the sRGB colour space, and as much as possible, all our competitors try and match that sRGB colour space. The first line here, you see the EPSON products, ranging from some of our entry to high-end models. Then we have some of the leading one-chip DLP products. The comparisons should be drawn between colour spaces. So this is not a representation of brightness, but purely colour gamuts.
So how do you so if somebody's looking at a picture, how would you they're going to look at the picture, how would you characterize the difference between brightness and colour? Because to some people, a brighter picture is a better picture or more contrast.
Yeah.
Versus to some other people, they're more, maybe they're more, a bit technical savvy, and they can say, okay, the colours is richer in this picture, there's more detail, there's more shades. Yeah. So how would you characterize? We're looking at here, as you said, these are neutral brightness, and these just show the maximum ranges of colour we are able to achieve. So really, for those not really technology, so how would you characterize? Why is this important?
So it's really important to remember that a lot of the images you see in presentations, you want to ground it in reality. So it's getting the right colours of skin tones, the right colours in nature, so the greens of a leaf, the blue of an ocean. But it's really important in the corporate space for company logos. So a logo that you have printed on your packaging or on your website, you want it to match the presentations you have.
I think those in small business or something, doing their own stationery, or doing their own logos, these sorts of things, web development. I think almost all small businesses will have come across color matching issues, and whereas in a bigger company has the resources to have skilled staff internally who know how to do color matching, or they outsource to a designer who does it properly. So when you're saying, oh, there's a skin tone and the grass and color matching, I think now we can recognize why these gamuts are very important versus the brightness. So we have a demonstration here of different mass market projectors. These are business projectors.
All corporate.
Business/corporate. So we have EPSON, we have BenQ, we have Acer, Panasonic. What are the price ranges? And these are all LCD technology.
So the EPSON products are all 3LCD. The other products are one-chip DLP products. So the price ranges. So the one in the middle here, the second tier one for EPSON, is about $800, compared to one of the products in the back far corner is a $20,000 Panasonic.
Okay. So if we look at how they've aligned it, we have the EPSON sample, and we have the reference samples at the left. If you compare the green and the red, the amount of green, red, and blue on each of these color gamut samples compared to the reference, we can see they're very similar. So Paul, why are the shapes different? That's because it's 3D?
No, it's...
Because usually when people will see reviews of these color things, they see a 2D color map. Or on their screen in Adobe or whatever. So you've printed these as 3D.
Yeah, these are 3D printings of it. So the variance is because of the amount of green or blue or red that they focus on.
So it really doesn't matter if we're looking at... So you could have printed these in 2D on a piece of paper, and it wouldn't matter. This is just for demonstration. You've made it as a 3D model.
That's exactly right.
Okay, Paul.
what we have here is the 695 WI. It's the new ultra short throw interactive finger touch unit from EPSON. This model is predominantly targeted towards the education space. As I mentioned, this is a finger touch interactive unit, so as you touch a button, you start to annotate on top of it.
Okay, so basically this is interactive whiteboard and a projector.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So what can we do? You just demonstrate a finger painting.
Yeah.
So what can we, just an overview of bullet points, what can we do with this?
Yeah, from the unit itself, you can print all your annotations, you can save them to a USB or onto the network, you can also share content with children in the classroom. You can also control a document camera as well, so this is an digital 29 document camera. You can bring up the unit and control all that. So as you can see, you can
Okay, so it's a fully interactive device.
Yeah, that's right.
And so we have fully interactive, does that come, how good is it as a non-projector?
It meets a great spec, so it's WXGA resolution, and it's 3500 lumens. So it's quite bright in a meeting room or a classroom. You wouldn't have to turn off the lights or close the services.
So fully interactive, we can draw, we can save it to network, we can email, we can save it to USB, we can draw in different colors, we can put a presentation on the screen and scribble on it. There's basically anything you can think of, you can do with the interactive of a pen or your finger, we can do on this device. And who's this aimed at, Paul?
Sorry?
Which customers is this aimed at?
This is targeted towards education.
Education, okay. Education. And this model is the 695 WI.
Here, you see here is the 1460 UI, so it's a WXGA, so high definition, ultra short throw finger touch projector. This is targeted towards the corporate space where you can print, save and share from the projector itself. And as mentioned with the education version, it is fully intuitive, so it is finger touch control. You can bring content up on the screen, as you can see here, we're looking at the Batmobile, and you can change the shape, resize and annotate on top all with your fingers.
So Paul, you're saying this is meeting made for business, and we just saw an education. How would you characterize the difference between these devices?
So this is more integrated with the back end of the system of the company, so you can jump onto the network and save to a common drive. You can access the emails that are also in the system as well.
And the projector side, so this is a full HD versus a 1200p.
That's right.
Lumens?
4,400 lumens.
Okay, so you're brighter. How much price difference we're looking at for this better model over that one?
It's about $600-700 price.
Okay. And from a design point of view, it's pretty much similar. We have the USB connections, we have the remote.
That's right.
It's pretty much a very similar concept.
Yeah, and they're both ultra short throws, so the benefit of that is you can present in front of it without having the glare in front of your eyes. You also have the benefit of a 100-inch screen, so everyone in the room can share the content.
No, okay. World's most expensive pen there.
Yeah.
You better bring it back. This is a strange projector, Paul.
Yeah, so
why is it so strange?
This is the LX01 ultra short throw lens. So we talked about ultra short throw as a projector itself. This lens has been tailored to give you a very big image from a very short distance. So it's great for complicated installations or wanting to hide the projector and get a big screen at the same time.
Okay, so this is an external lens. Does that mean you can change it out?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So this sample we're looking at here, what aspect ratio is this sample?
So this
we're just looking at standard
1610, so WXGA resolution.
1610 lens.
Yeah.
So do you use different lenses for 1610, 16:9? Or?
No, all the same lenses, but you can change the resolution from the projector itself if you want to modify the content.
Okay, so we're just cropping basically, yeah.
Exactly.
So say I want an anamorphic 21:9 or some...
that won't sit within our corporate range, that'll be within the home theatre range. Yeah.
So how do we characterise changing the lenses then? So what's the purpose then?
So there's a bayonet, so throw distances. You'll be able
throw
to
distances,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Not to get different image performance. So this is specifically
for
size and installation purposes.
Yeah.
Okay. So other than that, the snorkel is just to impact the installation.
Yeah. So it's more targeted towards the ultra short throw installation. We have standard, middle throw, and long throw lenses, so you can move the projector.
Okay. So for example, we can put it at the back of a hall.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Where usually, sometimes they put it in the front quarter.
Yeah, that's
we see them hanging in the ceiling. This way you can put it all the way back.
All the way back, and you can hide the projector, or you can do a rear throw installation as well if you want to completely hide the projector itself.
So other than this snorkel, this is a standard data projector for business and corporate.
That's right. Yeah.
So, as you said earlier, so WXGA and how many lumens? And
7,500 lumens.
So it's a very bright one for data, for corporate.
Basis, yeah.
So Paul, I think we're looking at something very special coming up, is it?
Yeah, so what we're going to take a look at now is the L25000.
L25000. Is it $25,000?
Unfortunately not, no.
Oh, that's a shame, it's bloody Rosberg.
So the product we have here is the L25000. It is 25,000 lumens laser light source. It uses an inorganic panel and an inorganic phosphor wheel, which should give you 20,000 hours maintenance free. It's a fully sealed optical engine, which makes it perfect for high-end installation. It also features a native 4-pan laser.
When you say laser, is it a single laser diode?
So it's actually 8 banks of laser diodes.
Oh, so it's an array.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's too hard to make, say, one diode and amplify it. You have to have many lights.
You have to have many lights, yeah.
Okay. And so when we do so that goes to full HD.
Yeah, so
And the full HD is a free LCD.
Yeah, it's also 3 LCD. So same technologies as we have in the other products. It's also just ramped up and using this model.
Okay. So it's so big because of the lights, is it?
Essentially, yeah. There's also a lot of cooling.
And the lens, obviously, and optics and...
Yeah. The cooling in this is quite important as well to get 25,000 lumens.
25,000. So for our users, a typical, if we're going to buy a good projector, it's typical 3,000 lumens we're talking. That's the benchmark.
Most corporate spaces are 3,000, 4,000 lumens. This is for large event spaces. So think of theatres, auditoriums, outdoor projections, so things that you see at Vivid or Virtual Street projections.
So this is a full HD on sRGB.
Full HD, so it's WSGA in sRGB color space.
Yeah, only sRGB. Doesn't have any fancy home theatre functions.
No.
Okay, so it's a very impressive large unit. How do you know how heavy it is?
68 kilos.
60. Wow. Yeah, and obviously, so this is obviously meant for very elaborate halls and installations and these sorts of things. Because typically when we see universities, a bit smaller than this.
Yeah, exactly right. So the benefit of this as well, you have a lot of flexible installation options. We talked about changing out the lens. You have 10 lens options for this unit as well. And you can also do 360-degree projection because of the laser.
What's a 360-degree projection?
You can point it at the ground, you can tilt it on an angle, you can shoot it whatever direction you want.
Oh, so you mean the physically the unit can...
Yeah.
Okay, are you able to give us any examples of where this unit has been installed locally?
So we actually have a demonstration on top of us. It's just been launched to the market, so this is actually the first demonstration you'll be able to see.
Okay. So we have the baby brother here, is it?
Yeah, so this is the Z10005, actually one of our most popular installation products. So this is a dual lamp installation product. So when we talk about lasers...
So we went from a bank of lasers, we're going to 2 lamps.
2 lamps, yeah.
And so 2 lamps is unique to this. There's not some other more mainstream use 2 lamps. Most projectors are 1 lamp.
For the mid brightness, yeah, but when you start to get the high brightness area, the only way to achieve that high brightness is adding extra lamps. So it's not exclusive to Epson, but at least in that area.
So we went from 7,000 lumens to how many lumens again?
This was 25 and this
7, 25, and how many small brothers, how many lumens?
10,000.
10, okay. So you've covered the whole range.
Yeah, that's exactly. So this is what has multiple lenses for installation flexibility. It can also do tilt and portrait that you see now as well.
So these are the same market. They're not meant for like bars or these sorts of things.
No, slightly different markets. So this will be more for education, larger meeting rooms, but this would be an auditorium. And it can also be used in event spaces as well. It all depends on the variance of that.
So these are professional spaces.
Yeah, definitely.
So Paul, earlier we talked about home theatre stuff, and today we looked at business. And from your point of view from products, there's a clear delineation. For example, the data projectors are quite conservative. You stick to full HD / 1200p, blah blah blah. We have certain brightnesses, we have a standard color gamut so people don't stuff up their content. And we have the home theatre range, which is very, up to date. It's very high performance. So do you ever see a point where there's going to be convergence?
Yeah, so we talk about the technology cascade. A lot of the image enhancements that we see in the home theatre range work its way to these type of products.
For example, one silly thing we've seen, a lot of business projectors have a single speaker, whereas home theatre have a dual speaker, and we've gone for like 20 years now, business laptops used to have 1 speaker, now they have 2, but projectors are still, for business they're not going to have an amplifier, so it's a bit silly in these days to have 1 speaker, and it's a little thing we're talking about, a speaker and a projector, but it's important you have to hear.
So a lot of the spaces that we see our products go into, they're into integrated systems or larger networks where there are integrated speakers in the room itself. and people purely rely on the projector itself for images.
Yeah, but okay, for these sorts of things, yes. But for the meeting mate we saw and the 7,000 lumens demonstration we saw, these are more common things, these are more portable things. There's every boardroom for small businesses.
So on the meeting mate, the speaker is quite powerful. It's a 16-watt speaker in that unit. It may be just be a single one, but it is quite a...
I think, yeah, obviously we're not talking about more specs, we're talking about more convergence, where things are heading. For example, I would like to see more convergence from the home theatre side to the business side, and these sorts of things, because the way content creation is going, the way PCs and where people are going to plug Blu-rays in, or these sorts of things, things are shifting. And data projection really hasn't really changed in years. We went from 800 by 600 to 1024, 1200 now. WD XGA 1200p is like a 2000, mid-2000s now. It's about more than 10 years technology. And I think it's fair to say the only advance we've had was brightness. We have super brightness now.
Yeah, but that's not completely true though. We see a lot more interactivity on our projectors as well.
Yeah. But some would say that's more of an accessory.
Yeah, so
interactive is not really. You can have a projector, you don't need the introductory really for the projector. The projector's a projector.
I think we're facing the same issues that flat panels would face as well, especially in the consumer space, where most people with a TV now will buy a sound bar, so they'll augment their sound offering. No one really relies on the display device.
So Paul, earlier we talked about the home theatre stuff, and where things home theatre is going is HDR. Yeah. Where's the data space going? What's the next big thing?
Higher resolution. So everyone's progressing from WXGA. We'll start to see 4K, as well as different applications. So image mapping is quite big at the moment. People are trying to make an emotional connection with projection and scale up the images to share those experiences.
So 4K in business, you think is going to be a thing?
Yeah, I think in the next few years we'll start to see that come filter through. But different to the home theatre space, where 4K moves are starting to get launched. In the corporate space, it is a little bit lagging in that, I guess. Okay.
We looked at another vendor at this show, and the other vendor is promoting very ultra-wide stuff, 58 by 9 and so on. And we've been to a couple of event spaces this year where they have projectors blended together to produce a very, very wide display. Maybe some of these things would be considered a bit more signage related, but they are in the space of these data projectors. So is ultra-wide something that is on the cards for these sorts of products? Because at the moment we're stuck, as you told us earlier, we can't do anamorphic. We're stuck with 16 by 9 and traditional display aspects.
Yeah, so all our installation projectors can actually do edge blending as well. We have a demonstration of that on the other side of the stand. And people do extended desktops and run larger content on those types of machines. So yeah, that's definitely capable. The machines can also be bulk stacked on top of each other as well. So you can actually expand the image size as well if you do that.
So that's not really a limit of the technology, it's just a limit of how these products are implemented and configured, basically. It's not a limit, for example, we need to develop better panels, we need to develop better lenses, it's just how the stuff is...
It's actually applied and installed,
Okay. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much.